Right, guys and girls, welcome back once again to FTRL. We are here for the infamous driver lineup reveal for our Formula 1 section of FTRL. A few things to go through just before we get started. It's not going to be a particularly long video, just double checking the sound's working, it all is fine. Yeah, so very exciting, brand new game, F1 2020. It's had very good reviews thus far, and the boys that have been playing it so far in FTRL have been extremely pleased with it, so hopefully it lives up to expectation and we can expect some cracking driving this coming season in both divisions. Couple of things I want to do just before we get underway properly. It's not going to be a particularly long video tonight. We're going to be starting off with the Division 2 drivers, and then we'll be moving on to Division 1. One thing I will stress to everybody is that this has been made by FTRL, just Mikey H, or Mikey obviously as we all know him. The graphics on this are superb, and it is completely randomised. So it was, he sent it to me the whole way through, so he randomised the drivers first of all, then he randomised the teams and put them all together on one video. Graphically it looks absolutely superb. I'm sure you're all going to agree with me on that as well. So there have been a couple of small changes, I think, but we'll go through that as we get there and whatnot. But yeah, without further ado, let's crack on. So obviously we've got a few new drivers coming into FTRL this season, so you're very welcome indeed. And also we've got quite a few returning faces as well, so it'll be lovely to see everybody back on track. And one thing I do want to do just before we progress through is just thank onto the podium in particular, because the F1 side of FTRL for a very long time was a little bit kind of maybe lost or forgotten about possibly, but he has absolutely smashed it. So yeah, I couldn't be more pleased with him, and honestly I think he deserves a lot more credit than he actually gets. So Connor, I know you're watching this, mate. Thank you on behalf of everybody. Your ideas and whatnot have kept everything going strong, and yeah, we are looking forward to a brilliant season on what is looking to be a brilliant new game. So right, let's crack on. Yeah, I'm going to be pausing it as it goes through because it's quite a quick video, so maybe I'll reveal a couple of drivers and then we'll pause it and have a quick chat. But we'll move on to the Division 2 driver lineup. So again, massive thank you to Mikey for creating this graphic and this video. He's done nothing but excelled since he's come into FTRL, when the graphics and videos he's done take us to a whole new level. So well done to you, Mikey, mate, and hopefully you'll get a lot of love in the chat. And yeah, let's go. Okay, well I didn't know that. Right, so here we go. First of all, we have Oscar, who is a new driver into FTRL. He is going to be driving in the Renault for Division 2 this season. So as you can see, the wheels looking superb, the graphics looking superb. Mikey strikes again. So just one thing before we progress any further. Obviously we know that not absolutely everybody is going to be able to get the car that they wanted or the teammate that they wanted and whatnot, but we do give you boys the options of you know, letting us know whether you want the wheel or whether you want to be able to pick your own teammates, and we do chop and change that idea quite a lot. So there's going to be plenty more seasons, plenty more championships. So if you're not quite getting exactly what you want, please don't give us any crap. To put it bluntly, a lot of work goes in, and it's a nice little concept really. The wheel looks absolutely superb. So again, massive shout out to Mikey. Here he goes once again. So Oscar is the first driver out in Division 2, and he's going to be driving in the Renault. If previous history is anything to go by, he will be getting Lee Cole as a teammate, I'm sure. But right, driver number 2. He's going to be Max Def, the returning Max, and he is in the Haas car for Division 2. Lovely to see Max back in the into the lead. We've got Bread is Yo Daddy, the new driver, is in the Racing Point. So another debutant in FTRL, taking the Racing Point seat for the season. Then we have got AJ, and he's in the Mercedes for this season. Okay, high expectations for AJ. Let's see if he can live up to the Mercedes name. Driver number 5 is Goy Karp, and he is in the Alfa Romeo for this season. The legend the Hall of Famer that is Mr. Goy Carp from Mayo. Then we've got Luke Finch, so that's the first completed team for this season. He's going to be driving in the Racing Point, new to Formula 1, so let's hope he has a good season. And we've got FTRL Oven, the legend that is returning. He's going to be in the Racing Point, in the Red Bull for this coming season, so he's going to be pretty pleased about that if I know him well. FTRL Lee Cole is not in a Renault, he's in a Ferrari. Now I don't know who Lee has paid to be able to get himself a Ferrari seat for this season, but that's it, there we go. Lee's in a Ferrari, so we're not going to see Lee in a Renault. Feel free to riot in the chat, guys. You are more than welcome to absolutely flip. Just blame Mike. So everything, all the nice comments I've said about Mike so far, you can I'll take all that back now. It's not good enough. But yeah, right, no, Ferrari for Lee Cole for the season. I wonder who's going to be his teammate. Right, let's have a look as we progress on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're approaching halfway through, and we've got Rhino, another debutant in the Williams car. Quite a popular car for this game. I think a lot of people want the Williams. So that's driver number 9 of Division 2 done. And driver number 10 is High Noon 04, who takes the popular McLaren seat. Second half of Division 2 about to get underway just now. Is Sadio Mano, and he's going to be in the AlphaTauri, or the AlphaTauri, whatever you want to call it. Formerly known as Toro Rosso. Lovely looking car. Next driver out is the returning Rampage, and he is going to be in the Alfa Romeo alongside Goy Carp for the season. So that's another completed team in Division 2. Lee kicking off. The returning Hammer Time, always in a McLaren. Right, well, let's pause that there for a second as we're approaching 3/4 of the way through Division 2 so far. So a couple of teams starting to take shape now. We don't know much about High Noon, but we know about FTRL Hammer Time. We're absolutely chuffed to bits that he's coming back to FTRL, and starting to have a bit of an old school feel to this with some of the drivers in this division. So yes, Hammer Time, if I know him like I know him, he's going to be very pleased with the McLaren. So let's wait and see for his reaction. But let's move on and get Division 2 complete. FTRL Blue Flag, the returning driver. Oh, the AlphaTauri. Okay, so Sadio Mano is his teammate. Blue Flag just purchased the F1 game, so he's going to be making his return as well. Next driver out is the famous Agent Panda. He's going to be in the Renault with Oscar. So I've never seen Agent Panda in a Renault before, I don't believe. So yeah, something new for us all. FTRL just Mikey H in a Ferrari. Now I can't help but feel that that's rigged. But Mikey and Lee Cole in the Ferrari for the season. So Lee coming into the chat with, what is this bullshit? Absolutely fuming. And well, he's ended up getting Mikey as a teammate. So okay, an all admin lineup in the Ferrari team. So just a few seats left to go. Driver number 18, I believe this is going to be, or driver number 17. He's going to be Franco Pompey. He's going to be in the Mercedes alongside AJ for the season. So a lot of guys pairing up with existing FTRL members, which is nice, helps them settle in. Then we've got Matt Man, who's going to be in the Williams alongside Rhino. So I know Matt Man, he's was with us last season, so hopefully he's happy with his choice. And then FTRL TRS is, I believe, the penultimate driver. He's in the Haas car, and then you've got Zombie, who's going to be taking the final seat in Division 2, and that is going to be in the Red Bull. So just to recap then, so we've got Oscar in the Renault, we've got Max Def in the Haas, Bread is your daddy in the Racing Point, then we've got AJ in the Mercedes, Goy Carp in the Alfa Romeo, with Luke Finch making his debut this season in the Racing Point, and we've got FTRL Oven, who is returning back to FTRL in the Red Bull. We've got FTRL Lee Cole taking a Ferrari seat for the season. Rhino in his first season, he's going to be driving the Williams, and another debutant here, High Noon, in the McLaren. And we've got Sadio Mano in the AlphaTauri, Rampage teaming up with Goy Carp in Alfa Romeo, FTRL Hammer Time in the McLaren, and we've got FTRL Blue Flag in the AlphaTauri, Agent Panda in the Renault, FTRL Just Mikey H in the Ferrari, Franco Pompey in the Mercedes, Matt Man in the Williams, FTRL TRS in the Haas, and Zombie in the Red Bull for the season. So I'm just having a quick look in the chat. So we've got nearly 30 people watching. Thank you all very, very much for coming by and saying hello. But overall, I don't think there's too many people that are going to be too disheartened with their cars there. But hard to really pick. I mean, I'd like to sort of think about contenders and stuff, but it's very difficult to pick out because we've got so many new drivers in here. Just had a text message come through from FTRL Hammer Time saying sorry, just coming from running up and down the street naked, because he's very happy with the McLaren. So in terms of drivers who I would expect to be possibly up towards the top end this season, let's go from top to bottom. I'm unfortunately going to have to leave out some of the new drivers because I don't really know them. FTRL Oven is the first person that screams out to me. Was in a position to win an F2 championship before, or an F3 championship, but massively bottled it. And then you've got FTRL Hammer Time. He could do it. You never know. He does have a bit of speed about him, does tell. FTRL Blue Flag's been a long-term racer in the league. I know he has got some pace, but whether he finds that again on F1, I'm not too sure. TRS is another one. He's normally pretty quick. So, yeah, like I said to you, I don't know too much more about those guys, but yeah, there we go. I advise everybody to take a quick screenshot now, so you've got the driver lineups there ready to hand as well. If somebody can do that for me and pop them in the Discord as well, that would be absolutely wonderful. I'll give you just a few seconds to do that, and we can go on to Division 1. Max the Legend, there he is. Lovely to have you back, mate. Sorry about the hass, but you know, there we go. City Posh Blue, give me a Red Bull, that would be nice. Okay, right, so I'm just going to have a quick sip of drink and then we'll crack on to Division 1 before we wrap it up. Keep the comments flooding in, guys. Thank you very much for taking your time out to have a quick nose at this as well. Shouldn't be too much longer. Okay. Can you help me find that pace you speak of? I'd love to, mate, but I've got to find my own first. Right, okay. On to Division 1. Now, there are some seriously strong candidates, some seriously strong lineups, and some legends have returned. Some legends have returned indeed. Who's going to be the first name out in Division 1? I've got a feeling, I do have a feeling it's going to be a wonderful human being. Somebody that I love dearly and I'm very fond of. So let's have a look. Any guesses in the chat? I'm pretty sure Pagani will get this one, but yeah. Right, anyway, without further ado, let's reveal this beautiful man. It's City Posh Blue. He is in the AlphaTauri for the season. Okay, so not quite the Red Bull. Next out is Brutus Beer, the reigning Division 2 champion in the Mercedes for the season. Okay, so Brutus Beer is out in the Mercedes. Driver number 3, FTRL Danny, is going to be in the Ferrari. Now let me pause that there for a second, because we've just been made aware that Danny might not be able to race this season, so this could be a void seat. However, when this was sent to me this morning or yesterday, whenever this was, Danny at this point was obviously already going to be racing. So yeah, at this stage it's Danny in the Ferrari, but that is subject to change. Just want to stress once again that obviously with the wheel, this all was done by Mikey privately, and these were just sent to me, so I've obviously seen them prior to doing this, whilst I set all of the stream up and so on. So I've had no input in this whatsoever, just so you're all aware. Okay, driver number 4 for Division 1. Is going to be Graham, who's a new driver. I've had first-hand experience racing against Graham last night. Thoroughly enjoyed it, so I expect to have some great battles with him throughout the season. He's going to be in the Racing Point. So quite a popular car, I think, on this game. I think a lot of people are looking forward to driving the Racing Point. So Graham, welcome to FTRL, my friend. And yeah, hope you're happy with your car. Driver number 5 is Ozone Teamsed, I think it might be his name. He's going to be Brutus's teammate in the Mercedes. So the first completed team in Division 1. And we've got Lennon, who's going to be in the Haas. Oh, he's not going to be happy about that. Apologies, Lennon. But Lennon in the Haas. To be fair, I must admit, I quite like the Haas this year. I like the sort of bit more white as opposed to the grey. I think it looks quite smart, really. But, yep, Lennon in the Haas for the season. On to the podium in a Ferrari. Okay. Onto the podium, teaming up provisionally with FTRL Danny. Now, that could be fireworks. But, yeah, well, there we go. FTRL Danny and onto the podium provisionally as a team in the Ferrari. So, Lennon's coming with, I'm not racing. Sorry, Lennon, mate. One of those things. Next driver out. Nexus Iceman. He is going to be the teammate of Lennon in the Haas car for the season. So they race together in GT Sport. They race together in F1. And now we've got Feely coming out, who's going to be taking the first McLaren seat in Division 1 for the season. Then we've got Panama 24, who's in the Williams. So we're about halfway through now. Again, don't know some of these drivers. I'm interested to see how they get on this season. Next driver out is me. And it... Okay, it is the AlphaTauri. But before you all erupt in the chat, I had no input in this. This is why I stressed it. I had no input in this. Mikey sent it to me, and he was extremely pleased that. Well, sorry, I was extremely pleased what he had ended up with. But yes, me and City Posh in GT and in F1. So unlucky, mate. No, very pleased, very pleased with this for the season. Next driver, shut up, Pagani. Next driver out is the champ, Dutch Tricks. He is back, and he's in a Renault. It's not rigged. It's not giving me shit. Tico's out next. He's in the Racing Point alongside Graham. Now that is a strong lineup. Tico and Graham for the season. Next out is Liam. Who's he going to get? He's got the McLaren. So Liam, the one person who I am going to tip as a real challenge to the two Dutch boys of Dutch and Tico. Obviously, I don't know some of the other drivers, so provisionally, I would say that Liam is a definite contender for the title this season. So, yeah, and he will be doing so in a McLaren. So, I don't know how pleased you are with that, Liam. But anyway, we will progress on. Then we've got Sweeney, who is a former FTRL GT Sport champion, so nobody that's... he's definitely not particularly slow on racing games. I don't know much about his F1 speed. However, Sweeney and Dutch Tricks in a team. If Sweeney's got the pace he's got in GT Sport on F1, that is going to be a real team. So I imagine that it's going to be a good battle between the McLaren boys, the Renaults and the Racing Points for this season. So welcome, Sweeney, and best of luck, mate. You've certainly got the best that you could possibly get as a teammate for the season. So onwards we go, getting towards the business end of Division 1. Now, I'm not going to try and say this one. Is it Hipari late? I'm going to go with. He's going to be in the Williams alongside Panama. So two new drivers that I don't know much about. However, I have seen this guy on the time trials, and he's always very high up. Nexus Cats is going to be in the Red Bull for the season. And then we've got Mystic coming in. He's also going to be in the Red Bull. So that leaves the two final cars to be the Alfa Romeos. And by process of elimination, we've got Mr. Coandy, who is going to be in the Alfa Romeo. And the last one will come up as to be confirmed, but that is actually going to be Zumpy for the season. So Zumpy and Coandy both in the Alfa Romeo. So that's another very good team. And that is your Division 1 lineup complete. So we'll just head back slightly and we'll just have a quick recap of that. If we can, if I can figure out how to function a computer properly, would be great. This has not gone well. This has not gone well. Right, can we leave this here for a second? Okay, so City Posh Blue in the AlphaTauri, Brutus Beer in the Mercedes, FTRL Danny in the Ferrari, Graham in the Racing Point, Ozone in the Mercedes with Lennon in the Haas onto the podium in a Ferrari, Nexus Iceman in the Haas, Fearley in a McLaren, Panama in the Williams, myself in the AlphaTauri, Dutch Tricks, the FTRL GOAT is in the Renault with Tico in the Racing Point. Now, as much as I am a massive fan of Dutch Tricks, I'm equally a massive fan of Tico, and I do hope that Tico finally manages to pip Dutch to a title at some stage. So, could it be the time for Tico? He's going to be in the Racing Point. Let's see what he can do. Liam, again, another extremely fast driver, is making a return. He's in the McLaren for the season. Sweeney in the Renault. Hipari late in the Williams. And then we've got the 2 Red Bulls who are going to be driven by Nexus Cats and Mystic. And then the final 2 drivers in Division 1 is Andy and Zumpy in the Alfa Romeos. So, yeah, it's going to be a wonderful season. I'm very, very excited to get started. Again, a massive thank you to Mikey for creating these graphics and taking the time out to put all of this together. It is going to be, well, it just makes everything look so much better. And yeah, we're very, very lucky to have Mikey in FTRL, especially in the admin team. So it's going to be a cracking season, and it all starts up next week. So Division 1 will be taking place on Tuesdays and Division 2 will be taking place on Wednesdays. We've got the same calendar for the season, and the opening round is at Austria. So please come and join us there. Finally, from me as well, we are still looking for a permanent commentator for Division 2. Now, I will be able to contribute towards this. However, with myself and my partner working from home, it's also going to be quite difficult at times as we have varying shift patterns, especially she does. So there's going to be times when I can't do it. So if anybody does fancy giving commentary a go, there will always be somebody with you. It's not particularly difficult. It's just a case of sitting there and chatting about what you see. Any help goes a long, long way towards obviously all of the hard work that is put into FTRL. And a final word. With regards to the season, please make sure that you've read through the rules, the stewarding handbook. Onto the Podium spent weeks putting that together, and it's there to make everything better for you guys. Over the course of the season, there will probably be some stewarding or some decisions or however things are played out that you might not always be completely happy with. But just understand that we don't ever do anything to annoy any of the drivers or make anything an unenjoyable experience for any of you. Everything's done with the interest of the league and everybody else in it. So although you might feel hard done by, you might feel some decisions are slightly unfair. Whatever the situation is, please just have some respect over the course of this season. If any of you have any concerns whatsoever, please contact me in the Discord, and I will always give anybody the time to go through anything you need. So I just wanted to make that abundantly clear before we start the season. There is bound to be crashes, there's bound to be accidents, and there's bound to be mistakes, but not everything that happens to you on track is intentional, and we've all made mistakes, especially on racing games and whatnot where it's so competitive. So I honestly hope you all have a wonderful season, and I am really looking forward to watching this get back underway. F1 took a little bit of a backseat for a while whilst we was growing GT Sport and we was coming towards the end of the previous game. So yeah, massive thank you to Onto the Podium in particular for running the F1 side of FTRL pretty much single-handedly. He does have the support obviously for this season, but it's also needed from all of you. So please follow the procedures every week. All you have to do is turn up and race, or just let us know if you're not going to be there. But I hope you're all pleased with your cars for the season. Again, the graphics look superb. I recommend you take a screenshot of this. It'll all be posted in the Discord anyway. But we are less than a week away from lights out for the first season on F1 2020, and remarkably the 14th season in FTRL. So 3.5 years down and we're still going strong, and I look forward to sharing many more memories with you. But from me and from everybody at FTRL and the admin team, thank you very, very much for spending your time having a look through this with us tonight, and we will see you on track next week. And have a fantastic week until then, and we will see you then.